I am on my nature walk, my morning walks, the famous ones I always talk about and also vlog about. I wanted to use this energy to give thanks, and I wanted to include you guys in the podcast that takes time to listen to these episodes. You guys mean the world to me. I'm so grateful. You guys, my day ones, and even for the ones that just subscribe to my podcast and my podcast channel on YouTube at Elizabeth Magical Garden podcast. Shameless plug, right? But seriously, I wanted to include you guys in this energy. I had such a morning. It was so fantastic. I give so much thanks. I took time to write down what I was thankful for this year, the lessons that has been learned, the protection, all of that, all the love. And I also examined how I dealt with those things, right? So I wanted to share that with you guys uh, because it's really important to own up to whatever area that you don't see for yourself in the future. And that's okay. We all have those areas. But when you take time to set intention and write down and give thanks, there's something magical happens. I truly believe that. And you align yourself with God. It's like God takes the wheel. You start writing, and it's the things that pour out of you. It is a conversation, not only with yourself. So I just want to share that with you guys. I have so much in store for us this 2025, and I just want to say thank you guys for you guys support, your ongoing support. It's such a pleasure and such a blessing to be able to do what I love and be supported. So thank you, thank you, thank you, and enjoy this week's episode.
Hi, my name is Elizabeth from Elizabeth Magical Garden, a magical garden reaching for the stars. Guys, welcome back to the podcast. I pray that all is well, and I pray that all is in great spirits. Happy holidays. Happy Christmas. Well, Christmas technically is over because this episode goes up on Thursdays. So Merry Christmas to all. I pray that everybody enjoyed themselves. I pray that everybody was in some form or another was receiving love because, it's not easy. I know I discussed on episode 217, and be sure to check that out, in terms of new beginnings, starting over, starting fresh. And I said to myself, why not create a little series of this very topic in terms of starting over, reusing things that we already have? Because you know what I noticed? I feel like when we get to a point in life where we want to start over, the question is what and if we should leave things to the wayside. And usually that's a yes, right? Check it at the door. But we can't forget all the hard work that has been done leading up to our newfound beginning in life. I used to be that person that legit thought that I had to let go of all that did not serve me anymore in order to get to the next phase in life. And now, for the most part, it did me well. And let me tell you something. I took this very seriously. I remember when I was a young gazelle, not saying I'm not now, but when I was just finding my way in life, I was in my early 20s. I would say this concept came for me around my mid 20s. I remember just getting over a breakup, because usually, girls, you know what I'm talking about. Guys too. Usually when we get over a breakup, we want to start fresh, look new. Everything is new. And I took this very seriously. I was the type of person that would legit change every single thing about myself. I mean, down to the looks, down to my hair color. Honestly, you would have to even question, did I know her? Is that the same person? That was the thing that I was going for. And trust me, I achieved that in levels that I myself am extremely proud and surprised of. With that being said, one of the things that I learned from this particular way of seeing things, this way of moving forward, is that it did something for me psychologically. When I would look in the mirror, right? Mind you, still going through a broken heart, still, licking my wounds. But when I would look in front of the mirror, I legit would see somebody different. So it was like I was programming myself to see someone new. So that person that I seen in my reflection didn't experience the thing that I just experienced. So every time I would have an emotion and I would like see myself or be doing the whatever new things, and I'm talking about new, whether it's like going to a new gym, eating at a different restaurant, all these little minute things that compound over the course of months, even years, allowed me to step into my higher self. It didn't allow me to stay stagnant in the way where it's like, okay, I'm just, trying to get over this new thing. And this is not just with relationships. This could be a change of location, change of school, change of job, etc. Any major change you find in life, this concept definitely works, and put it to the test. I give it like 21 days. They say it takes 21 days to start a new habit and 21 days to get rid of an old habit. And I tell you, I really believe, and I didn't know this at the time. At this time, there was none of this stuff that's going on. I wasn't researching. It was just something within me. I really believe it's my Gemini skills. It has to be, because Geminis are always, we're chameleons by nature. It wasn't that I didn't feel the feels, because trust me, I did, right? But what I believe started happening psychologically is that I felt, and I was doing so many things that alienated me from the past, that I no longer identified with that current reality. I remember it was this time where you know how you kind of like get into a melting pot of people that we know. And I remember it was this poignant point that I realized I was onto something, because it was a gathering that I was invited to. This person was there, and fears. I remember starting a Pilates. That's when I just started working out, finding what really worked out for my body. And Pilates was definitely a thing at the time. I stopped eating bread. I'm telling you, I took this very seriously. And I remember coming in and everybody staring. It was like, whoa, like, who's this new person? And mind you, I said nothing. I said nothing to this person. I didn't even like legit. And it wasn't that I was being nasty, because I felt good. I was already dating, and I felt good about myself. I felt good internally. But I wasn't I didn't have a full understanding of what was taking place. Fast forward, all this being said, I started to realize that me changing my outlook, what I do, my regimen, quick and easy change on how I can move forward in life. And it wasn't until that, because I remember people would call me like, you looked really good. What are you doing? Etc. And I wasn't even doing this because I was Like, I'm just going to look good. So when this person sees me, then, they're going to be like, eat your heart out. I mean, low key, right? But it wasn't, I was really just trying to move forward. I forced myself to do these things because I wanted so bad to not feel the feels. And I noticed that whenever I would X something out and add something new, it just directed my attention and I started feeling good. So over the course of the years, or I should say over the course of the weeks, over the course of the months, I started feeling my best, looking my best, and doing my best. And before I know it, I was living a different type of life. What does that mean for us now? Does this concept still work? Well, study shows that whenever you take it upon yourself to start a new regiment and you stick with that new regiment for at least 21 days, but for it to stick, it's 90 days, I believe, you not only benefit from this new way of doing things, this new experience, but it legit changes you. It changes you. You implement new grooves within your mind. And when I say a new groove, yes, a new groove, because think about it. Whenever you go to the gym, if you do anything physical, after a certain amount of time, like first it's like hard. It's like, oh my God, I can't even move in a way that actually allows my body to articulate what I'm asking it to do, right? Because your brain is foreign to you. You've never tried to achieve those particular moves. You never moved your body in that way. So your mind really doesn't have a significant amount of memory in terms of allowing you to execute the poses, the moves, etc. Right? But over a course of time, being diligent and doing it over and over again, you start to realize like, oh wow, this is getting easier. I'm getting stronger. Well, that's because you have programmed a new way of doing things within your mind. So now your mind is like, oh, okay, I remember this. I remember this pose. I remember how to hold my core in. I remember holding and breathing and releasing in this sequence, because you have introduced a new way of doing things. And my friends, this is one of the things that I would suggest that you implement in this 2025, because let me tell you something. There's a lot of changes happening. There's a lot of changes happening. There's a lot of changes happening, not only physically, mentally, and emotionally, but also spiritually. And I really believe that one of the reasons why people find it so hard to move on in life is because they're not used to change. So I have always believed, or I should say, I have found that you taking matters in your own hands and implementing these uncomfortable situations within yourself allows you to kind of like, or train yourself for what's to come, whether that's good, bad, or whatever the situation is. But if you always allow yourself to be in a comfortable state, when things happen that are extremely uncomfortable, you're going to be like so gone. You're going to be off your A game, like completely. And I'm not saying that whether you implement these things, you will not get off your A game. Listen, life is happening regardless of what. You always know what I say. Life is gonna life. We might as well life along with it, right? So the pains of life, but your bounce back. See, I'm all about the bounce back. You know how it's like a ball. You know what I mean? When you bounce the ball when you bounce a ball, does it stay or does it automatically comes up? So I feel like when you push yourself and you implement changes in your life, you will have a better resilience when it comes to recovery, right? Because muscle has memory, and your brain is also a muscle. It is a fantastic way of training. And listen, not everybody physically can go and run millions of miles or whatever the situation, but your as long as your cognitive skills are willing, you can change your life. Whether it's something that you are reading, a study that you are focusing on, you know, everybody doesn't have to go. Now, college, these institutions they have their benefits, but we do live in a world that information is vast. So, not getting a formal education is not an excuse to not train yourself. Find out what you like. Write down 5 different things that caught your eye that you never really took time. Maybe you even felt like you didn't have what it takes to achieve that goal. Choose one. Choose one. Choose one and stick with it for at least 21 to 90 days. I perfectly 90 days, but let's just start 21 days. And it could also be 21 days of stopping something. We just finished with the holidays. I know everybody was getting it in, or not. But for those who were, maybe 21 days using it as a detox of information. Maybe it's not partying. Maybe it's consuming too much of social media, maybe taking a step back. I know for me, I go through my seasons of taking a major step back from social media. Now, I do record these episodes, and this is what I do. I also have a blog. Be sure to check that out at Elizabeth Magical Garden. That's where everything that I create resides on. So this is something that I'm always doing, but at the same time, there are other tools that you can use that would allow you to not have to always be looking at a screen, because you don't realize how much you are impacted by the things that you listen to, by the things that you see. So being mindful, practicing mindfulness will allow you to stay on a journey of starting over. Listen, 2025, I know that we always say, new year, new me, but legit, regardless if you have goals or not, it's true. It's a new year. You've never lived in 2025, right? So every single thing technically is new. Everything that you are going to encounter in a new year is new. It may appear the same, but it is new. Why is it new? Because it's a new year. It's you in this new year. Okay, so energy has a way of engulfing all of us, whether we like it or not. So why not take the time to train? Why not take the time to take initiative in our new beginnings? Because I don't know about you, I'm here to win. I'm here to win. That's it. When I turned 50, it was a really interesting year going in. I remember when I was 49, somewhere along the line, I was just like, oh, you could even check out my vlogs about my journey on walking into 50. Praise God. It was a whole thing. It was a whole thing. And all the links will be down below in terms of my vlog channel. If you would like to subscribe to that, I appreciate that. But with that being said, it was a whole thing, it was a whole theme, and I went hard. I went hard in terms of what I knew. I didn't have all the answers. I never been 50 before, right? I really was into my physicality because as you get older, the bone density start to go down, so lifting weights, all of that, yada yada yada, was a thing for me because I wanted to present myself to my new self in the best possible way. And I've always been a proponent to that. I'm still on that journey. A lot of things do look different now. I'm not lifting heavy weights like that. And I'll do another segment about what I find, especially when you are premenopausal or going through menopause. Some of the things that I feel holistically definitely will lessen a lot of the things that comes with midlife. But with that being said, I dove in, I eliminated a lot of the things that I felt at the time no longer served me because I was maintaining the concept that I am discussing with you right now in terms of starting over. Now, did I let everything go? No. No, I did not. And it just goes into the next part of what I wanted to discuss. And I did mention some of these things in my other episode, which is 217 on the podcast. I am a firm believer of reusing things. Like, think about it. Why should you get rid of everything that you work so hard for? Now, don't get me wrong. If that's what it takes, then that's what it takes. But don't get caught up in the hype. You can reuse ideas. You can reuse items. You can reuse looks. We live in a world today where it's like, oh, okay, that was yesterday's news. What's new today? And I'm going to push back on that because I really feel like this is triggering a lot of people in terms of their mental health because you are just going, 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 going. Well, it's okay to go, but it's also okay to look back. You know, especially I feel like with the younger community. And when I say younger, I mean like, I guess like anywhere 20s, 30s, maybe even 40s. I don't know. But what I will say is that I noticed that a lot of people have this notion of like, I'm moving forward, not looking back type of thing. But then that is good. But then what happens to all the fantastic things that has happened along the way? You know, I see a lot of artists, upcoming artists. I'm not a person that really follows like the new. I mean, I'm pretty privy, but not so much where I would come up here and be talking about certain things. But I do see a lot of younger artists kind of like pooing on the older generation that was doing the things before they started doing it. Like, okay, I understand this person or these individuals are not at their peak anymore, but they paved the way. And this is one of the things that I personally love about indigenous and also other cultures, because they have this reverence, this innate ability to give homage to their elderly. I know in the Asian community, they respect their elders. Like, they respect, from what I'm seeing, the way they respect their elders. I know a lot of women, and this is just something that I have researched and I have come across. But one of the things that I fell in love in terms of, especially with the Asian culture, how when somebody is like, if the woman just gave birth to a child, they'll fly that mother up. That mother will that they'll fly that mother up, okay, to not only get help, but also to receive past traditions. Everything is a song and dance, right? Just because you know a new dance, that doesn't mean that you get rid of the old. Because let's just be honest, everything is being recycled. Nothing is original. There is no original. It's all material, but it's not original. So to not give homage to the ones that were here before us, I just think that it's just something, it's really, it's kind of sad. Not only in terms of respect, but even for oneself, right? Because how can you know what you're doing wrong or what you're doing right? What are you comparing it against? If you're only looking forward and you never look backwards and you're not taking the time to implement the things that worked before you started, how do you measure up? Daunting for me. So with this all being said, I just feel like taking a big survey. This is a new year, especially now that we are in the thick of it. It's a great time to get a journal. You know how I always say, write it down, dot your I's and cross your T's, guys. Write it down and not be overwhelmed. All this that I'm saying is not to confuse you. It's actually to encourage and to promote you. I can't even get it out. And to promote you, because I want you to feel like you are ready. A lot of times we approach life as if we are always newbies. What are you comparing it to? How can you measure something that you are just starting? And why always keep yourself looking backwards? Well, if you start something new, giving yourself grace and understanding that this new thing, this new adventure is going to take time to be familiar with, never alone mastery takes years. Okay, so we're not even going to get into this brainwave of, oh, I have to master it now, although we do, right? I know I have been guilty of that, and it's just not a healthy way of going forward when you are changing a lot of things in your life. Understanding that this is a new way of looking at things, is a new concept that you are involving in your life, is going to take time. The tools will come, right? The fact that you took the first step to arise in a new way, to present yourself in a new way, to have a new outlook, says a lot about you. So give yourself grace, guys. Guys, I really enjoyed this particular episode. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and hit that bell so you be notified every time this podcast goes live on this channel, which is Elizabeth Magical Garden Podcast. And for those who love hearing this beautiful voice, be sure to look at the links down below in the show notes for anything or upcoming events that I have planned for you guys. Hey guys, leave a comment, a review, preferably 5 stars. And don't forget to check me